I am live. This is so exciting. Hello, this is Deanne from Small But Kind of Mighty, and hopefully I have resolved all of the technical issues and this is coming through okay. I am excited to make a video again. It's been ages and I'm really sorry. I am a bit rusty, so the video that I've made I haven't edited or anything yet. So hopefully it looks okay. But if you, by the end of this video, the point of this is to show you how to make this star. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Okay, there we go. You can use it as a gift tag, a tree ornament. You can use it as a gift tag and then the gift recipient can keep it as a tree ornament. You can make garlands with them. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything that, oh, you could use it as an applique. So yeah, if you can think of any other uses for this project, then let me know. I am currently live streaming on both YouTube and Facebook, and hopefully I'm not talking to myself. So if you're watching live or even on replay, can you let me know in the comments? And if you are a crocheter or you're interested in learning how to crochet, then please comment and let me know whether you crochet or whether you want to learn, because I am looking for people to interview. And if you comment, I will reply to your comment and we'll find a way to get in touch. Okay, so I've got 12 free, quick, easy, very beginner friendly Christmas patterns for you. And I will share those at the end because for now I want to get on to the tutorial. So folks in my Facebook group and on Instagram voted that they wanted to see this tutorial. So I would like to get it started. I will share the link to the pattern for the star in the description. If you've already downloaded the pattern, then you'll receive an updated version of it, which will link to this tutorial. The materials and tools you need for the pattern for the star are listed in the pattern. So you do need to know how to chain, slip stitch, and double crochet to make the star. If you don't know how to do those things or you need a refresher, then I will link to videos where I demonstrate how to do those. And lastly, I will say, despite my accent, I use US terminology in my patterns and tutorials. So a double crochet is a double crochet, not a single crochet. Sorry for all you UK terminology fans out there. Okay, so let's get started. I have got a video which I wanted to share with you, which shows close up how to make the star. All right, okay, hang on, let me just pause it. Okay. So yes, I'll just walk you through this video and make whatever comments I need to. I want to make this full screen if I can. Let me see. Full screen. Yes, perfect. Okay, so hopefully you can see this and you can hear me okay. We're going to start with making a slip knot, chaining 4, and then joining to the first chain with a slip stitch, forming a ring in which we are then going to work round 1. So let's get started here. So this is chain 2, 3, and 4, and then joining to the first chain with a slip stitch. I'm making that look really difficult for some reason. Oh, there we go. Slip stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to crochet over my tail end. And I'm going to start though with another chain 4. The first 3 chains are going to be the starting chain 3, which will count as a double crochet, and the chain 1 space, which will be your first sort of star point or corner space for your star. You're then going to work 3 double crochets into the ring. My tail end annoying me. So I do work over my tail ends, and I also weave them in at the end. I tend to be a bit paranoid about things coming loose. So you can see I've got my tail end like draped over my hook when I insert it. We are going to put a lot of double crochets into this ring, so it's a bit tight. I am doing this with worsted weight yarn and a 3.75 millimeter hook. I recommend that beginners start with a larger hook, and it will be easier for you to see the spaces that you're working in. So I did 3 double crochet and then chained 1 for my second sort of star point or corner space. And now I'm going to do 3 double crochet and chain 1 again. That's basically our repeat. We're going to do that a total of 4 times before we get back to the beginning. So this is my 3rd double crochet and then chain 1. So 3 double crochet and chain 1 again. The yarn I'm using, I mentioned, is a worsted weight. I'm using just Cascade 220, which comes in lovely colours and is a terrific workhorse yarn, but it's not superwash, so it will felt if you don't use care when you're washing the finished item. And for beginners, I don't recommend using this yarn because it's a bit splitty, I find, and that can make things more difficult for beginners than it has to be. So I think this is my last repeat of 3 double crochet, chain 1. Oh yes, I got really stuck there. Okay, much better. Here I was mentioning how splitty the yarn is. Okay, so 2nd double crochet. Yeah, I've got my yarn end over there. Third double crochet. and chain 1. So how many groups of 3 double crochet do we have now? Have we got the 4 that we need? 1, 2, 3, I think so. So when we get back to the start, we are going to do 2 double crochet into the ring and then slip stitch into the chain 3 that we started with. Now, if you have trouble keeping track of where you need to slip stitch into at the end of the round, I strongly recommend that you use a locking stitch marker and pop it in so that it's easy for you to work out where you're going to slip stitch into. So we've got 5 groups of 3 double crochet and 5 chain 1 spaces. The chain 1 spaces are going to be the points of our star. So at the beginning of round 2 and every subsequent round, we start by slip stitching into the chain space. And then we chain 5. Instead of doing a chain 1 space in round 2, we're now going to do chain 2 spaces for the star points or the corners. So that chain 5 counts as a chain 3 to start, which will be a double crochet, and the first chain 2 space. So after you've done the chain 5, then in the same chain 1 space from round 1, you're going to then do 3 double crochet. And that's what I'm just finishing right now. In the chain 1 spaces between your groups of 3 double crochet, you're going to jump straight over to the next one and you're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So I did 3 double crochet, chain 2, and now 3 double crochet in the exact same chain 1 space from round 1. And you're going to see that these star points are going to become more obvious in this second round. So jumped across those 3 double crochets from round 1 and went straight into the next chain 1 space, and I'm going to work another 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So that's our repeat. We're going to work it 4 times before we get back to the beginning of the round, where we're going to just do things slightly differently at the end. Hopefully you can see those corners or those star points are becoming much more obvious in this round. So 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and now 1, 2, 3 double crochet. jump on over to that next chain 1 space. You don't work into the chain, you work into the space underneath that the chain has created. So this is our last 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And we are now going to jump to the chain 1 space that we started into. And before that chain 3, we are going to work 2 double crochet. Sorry, I'm not being very visible there, am I? It's actually really quite hard to film and see what you're doing at the same time. But anyway, I've put 2 double crochet before that chain 3, and then I'm going to go into that 3rd chain and do a slip stitch, and that's the end of round 2. I'm just going to pause that for a second, and I'm going to say, before I demonstrate rounds 3 and 4, if you're enjoying this video, if this tutorial is helpful, then please do give the video or the Facebook post a like and let me know in the comments. It's really, really good to get feedback of whatever kind. So yeah, let me know. Okay, so round 3, we start the way that we start every round, by slip stitching into that corner space. And then we're going to do our starting chain 5. So chain 1, 2, 3. Mark that 3rd chain if you have to. That's what you will work into when you get back at the end. The chain, the next 2 chains, chain 4 and 5, are our chain 2 space. So we're going to then work 4 double crochet into this same chains 2 space from round 3. We're going to be putting a lot of stitches into this little star, so you will see it start to get quite wavy and buckle up a bit, but that's normal. I will share how to deal with that when we get to the end. Now, between those 2 groups of 3 double crochets from round 2, there is a space between the groups, and we are going to slip stitch into that space. We then jump across to the next chain 2 space and work 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, splitty yarn, 3, 4, and then chain 2 to create our next corner space or star point, and then another 4 double crochet. Then we are going to work the slip stitch between those 2 groups of 3 double crochet from the previous round. And you'll really start to see those star points taking shape in this round. You can just work 3 rounds of this star if you want to. It will still look like a star. It will make obviously a smaller version, and that might be something that you want to do if you're using a larger hook size, because you're not quite comfortable with making something this tiny. But I find it, the round 4 as a border is, I don't know, it just looks neater, I think, and I like the look of it. Okay, so there's another corner done. I'm just going into that space between the 2 groups of 3 double crochet and doing a slip stitch, jumping over to the next corner and doing 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet, all in the same space. So 3 and 4, chain 2 and 4 double crochet. Oh, sorting out that yarn split. I really like using, oh, excuse me, as I mentioned before, superwash yarn for beginners, because it isn't anywhere near splitty, and it's also much easier to take care of. You can wash it in the washing machine if you have to, whereas if it's not superwash yarn, then you do need to hand wash it and not agitate it too much, otherwise it will felt, which is something that you might want if you're making like a felted bag or something. But if you don't want it to felt, then you will need to hand wash it in order to for it to keep its stitch definition and not shrink. So just working on the last 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet, and then the last slip stitch in between the 2 groups of 4 double crochet, and then we're back to our beginning corner or beginning star point. So we're going to do 3 double crochet right before our beginning chain 3, and if you marked with the locking stitch marker the beginning chain 3, then you'll know exactly where to work your slip stitch in order to join. So now we're on to the 4th and final round. We are going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space as we do at the beginning of every round, and then chain 5. The chain 3 counts as your beginning chain 3, and then chain 4 and 5 is your first chain 2 space. In the same corner or same star point, you're going to then do 4 double crochet, and once those 4 double crochet are done, we're then going to basically work a double crochet in each of the stitches in the side of our star, before we get to our next corner space. So you will definitely have to tug over those last group of 4 double crochet in order to see the head of the first double crochet that you're going to be working in. So you work under both loops of the head of each double crochet from round 3. So you're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the first 4 stitches, which accounts for the first group of 4. That's number 4 right there. Then you're going to skip over the slip stitch that we made in round 3 and do a double crochet in each of the next 4 double crochet from round 3. Again, for all of these double crochets in the stitches from round 3, you will be going under the head of the stitch under both loops with your hook. So once you've done 8 double crochets, that will bring you to your first corner, and in that chain 2 space you will do 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet. As I mentioned before, this is a lot of stitches in a very small space, so you will really see the star start to get a bit ruffled at this point. If you're less likely to see that if you've used a bigger hook, because everything will be a little bit more relaxed. But I like the look of using a smaller hook. So if it's something that you're comfortable doing, then I do recommend it, because you get a nice sort of tight looking star where the granny stitches are quite obvious, and the holes aren't too prominent, if that makes sense. So once you've done 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet in your corner, you then work 1 double crochet in each of the next 8 double crochets in order to get across to the next corner space. Remember, we're going to just completely skip over that slip stitch that we made in round 3. And then, not surprisingly, in the next chain 2 space, we're going to work, you probably guessed, 4 double crochet, chain 2, and then another 4 double crochet. While I'm doing this, because this is pretty repetitive, I will mention a couple of things. When you finish, I'll show you how I do a clean fasten off at the end of round 4 for the star, and then I'll show you the star that I'm making here next to the one that I blocked, so that you can see just how big an impact it makes when you block your work. If you don't know what blocking is, or if you would like to see the different ways that I block my projects, then let me know in the comments. Say, you know, you would like to see a video on blocking. What else? Oh, yes. After I've done my blocking, I then weave in my tail ends. And I weave my tail ends differently depending on the project and the type of yarn that I've used for the project. So if you'd like a video on how I weave in my tail ends and how it's different for, say, wool versus cotton, then let me know again in the comments. How else will I know unless you tell me what you want to see? I'm hoping to do another live stream tomorrow demonstrating how to do the crossed single crochet, which I use in both the mug rug pattern and the tinsel, the Christmas tree pattern. And I will show you the mug rugs and tinsel before we wrap up here. So yes, definitely set a reminder for that demonstration tomorrow if you're interested in seeing the crossed single crochet and also how I make the fringes for the mug rugs. So fingers crossed that tomorrow the teenagers and the technology cooperates and I won't be running late. Okay, where are we? We are coming up to the end of round 4. So I'm just working a single double crochet in each of the 8 double crochets that are between 2 corner spaces. And then in that last chain 2 space, I work 4 double crochet, chain 2, 4 double crochet. I'm getting feverish here because I can feel myself getting to the end of round 4. When YouTube has processed this live stream, then I will keep it up as a saved video. But before publishing it as a final video, I will make sure that the subtitles are added and the links to other videos are put in, and the links to the free patterns for the 12 Days of Hookmas. So you may want to come back and check if you're interested in any of those links. So that was my last corner. I'm just working back now to the beginning. So in the beginning chain 2 space, we worked half of our corner already. So before our beginning chain 3, we need to do 3 double crochet, and then we will slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3. I made this video so quickly, but it actually hasn't turned out as bad as I had feared. You can mostly see what I'm doing, so yay for that. Oh, just as I say that, I go off camera. Well done. Okay, yes, so I'm just doing that last slip stitch, and then the star is done. So the way I fasten off is break my yarn and pull the yarn through, thread that tail end onto a yarn needle, and then I go under the head of the next stitch. In this case, it's another chain. So just go under there, and then back into the middle of the slip stitch that I finished round 4 with. And by doing it that way, you get sort of a really nice, clean look to the star. So that's it. It looks kind of crummy, doesn't it? But I swear that is exactly how my other one looked before I blocked it. So here you can see the importance of blocking. It's just pure wool, so you can block just with a wash. You don't need to use steam or anything. So let me just go back to you seeing me, and I will just quickly show you the hi. Okay, so let me share with you the patterns that I've released so far as part of the 12 Days of Hookmas. I'll put a link to all of the patterns. You can download them on Ravelry for 99 cents. The reason I charge a minimal amount for them on Ravelry is because that way I know who has purchased a pattern, and if I make any updates or changes to it, then I can send you the updated pattern. Otherwise, if it's free on Ravelry, people just download it and I have no idea who's got a copy. Or you can download it for free from my website. So those are the 2 options. So the first pattern for 12 Days of Hookmas was for a bunny. So this little chap is made from a crochet square, and I have got videos on this channel of how to crochet the square and then how to turn the square into a bunny. So this is a really cute, quick, easy project, super easy for beginners, and it makes a really cute stocking stuffer, I think. So that's the bunny. Then I also have an amigurumi ball pattern, and I've got a video on this channel of how to make a sphere of any size. And I used my basic ball pattern to make this guy. There we go, who my son Oliver has called Cyril. Not sure about that, but anyway, he's pretty cute. Again, super quick, easy, and would make a cute gift, I think. You could do it in someone's favorite colors, make it very individualized. What else have I got? Oh, yes. So I've got a free a free pattern with a written pattern and a charted pattern and a video walkthrough, which explains both how to make the single colored granny square and how to read the written pattern and the chart for the granny square. So based on that, I also have modified it so that you can make a bigger granny square with a decorative border. This decorative border is, well, I think it's quite cute, but I've got an alternative that you could use if you want something that's a little bit more masculine looking. So I'm going to amend the pattern to include that border. So I made this in cotton. So the idea is that you use it as gift wrap. I've got like little bath bombs in here. And so it's eco-friendly gift wrap, and it's cotton, so the person can use it as a washcloth. So I think that's a really cute idea. And if you agree, please let me know in the comments. Right, so that's the granny square gift wrap. Oh yes, there's amigurumi Hershey's Kisses, or chocolate holiday kisses, I guess I should say. I haven't got those here, but the pattern is free and I will link to it. It's a little bit fiddly for beginners. So I would say it's probably the only pattern in the 12 Days of Hookmas that a beginner might not want to tackle. If they do, if you are a beginner and you want to give it a go, then I would definitely make it using a larger hook. So I'll just throw that one out there. This is Tinsel, the Christmas tree. So he's amigurumi, and he's made though in rose. So if you have a fear of magic circles or magic rings, then no worries. This is made in rose, and he also lies nice and flat, so you could use him as a gift tag. I think I'm going to make a number of these and put them up in a garland. I think that would be quite cute. He's got, let me see, to try. So he's got beads on. I put silver beads on this guy, and I think he's quite sort of punk rock looking. I think I might try gold beads on the next one and see if he's maybe a little bit more conservative. But my son Oliver called him Tinsel, which I think is a terrific name. He's made using the stitch I mentioned earlier, the cross stitch, the cross single crochet. So I will try and get a demo of how to do that stitch up. So that's Tinsel. And then I've got mug rugs. So this is a 3-in-1 pattern, and this is just regular old single crochet worked in rows. This one is crossed single crochet. So same stitch as I used to make Tinsel the tree. And then this one is regular old single crochet, but I worked alternating between back loop only and front loop only. So the idea behind the different versions of this mug rug is, if you're a beginner and you just want to practice making single crochet, then this is ideal. If you're feeling a bit more comfortable in your crochet skills, then the crossed single crochet and the alternating front loop and back loop ones give you something a little bit different to make, and they have a very different look. So those are, so far, the 7 patterns that I've released. There's 5 more to come. There's going to be 2 more granny projects and 1 more flat work project and 2 more amigurumi. So hopefully something for everybody. All right, so hopefully I will see you tomorrow for the demonstration of the crossed single crochet and how I do the fringes on the mug rugs. People mentioned that they were having a hard time getting the fringes to look good. So I thought I would share my process of how I do it, because I'm quite happy with how these turned out. So yes, hopefully see you tomorrow for that. If I don't, then I will wish you a very Merry Christmas now, and look forward to seeing you in the new year. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.